I am honestly hesitant. I know that you touched earlier about the difficulty that transgender women might have in describing their identity, but I want to state I honestly don't feel that you would engage in this conversation in good faith.
Then why are
And
you here?
so-
Why did you stand up to talk to me if you don't want to have a conversation? You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine.
In this one, we're going to have a look at a debate between Matt Walsh and a person claiming to be a trans woman, right? A trans mother. And they're talking about womanhood, which is ironic considering both people in this conversation were born as a male. And you might recognize this one because it did come out last year, but I think it's important that we remember these types of conversations. And it's also fun to see Matt Walsh peel apart the onion layers of all the things that this person has put together to validate that they are, in fact, a woman. And there's been a lot of talk lately about Matt Walsh's new film, Am I Racist? And I just wanted to remind you that Matt Walsh has a fantastic older film called What is a Woman? And it's amazing to me how many people can't answer that question without squirming in their chair, right? And so with that, let's just go ahead and get this one started.
Hi, Matt. I'm transgender. I'm born and raised here in New Mexico. I have a graduate degree in information technology, marketing, business, and finance. I own my own home. I pay taxes. I have a six-figure job. I'm a respected professional in Albuquerque. I'm a mother.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
My life experience is that I'm an awesome person. I am well-liked. I'm responsible, and I think I'm pretty cool. You touched on something. You said something earlier that for you, when somebody calls you a man, it doesn't faze you because, like, you just know that you're a man. That was interesting to me because I feel the same way about my identity as a woman. My question leading up to this, you've asserted that no one would ever see me as a woman, that nobody would ever see or could see a transgender person as a woman, and yet I have dozens of friends from diverse backgrounds, women from the reservation, a woman from Japan, several immigrant women. I have my coworkers, I have my boss, my VP, my CEO, all.
I don't know if quoting people from your echo chamber or quoting your boss, who definitely is afraid of being sued, kind of counts, but, you know, whatever.
All respecting me as a woman. My family, my long-term friends who are actually here with me. All of these people assure me, like, I'm a woman. They'll tell me, girl, like, there is no way you are a man. They see me as a woman. So the question.
Okay.
How can you assert that nobody would ever see me as a woman when my material experience tells me you're wrong?
Okay. It's interesting that that's the part of my talk you chose to ask a question about, because that's not in my talk at all. I don't believe I said that no one would ever see you as a woman. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, that you could fool someone. Now, you brought this up, so I have to tell you that you brought this up. You've put your identity on the table for conversation. And so I'm going to say you wouldn't fool me at all. I mean, I see a man 100%. And I think that most people would. Now, the fact that you have people in your life who are saying to you, oh, you're totally a woman, it's exactly what I'm talking about. No one in my life has ever once said to me, you're totally a man, Matt. You know, if a friend of mine called me on the phone and said, listen, Matt, I want you to know you're really a man, I would think that there was something wrong with him. I would say, why are you saying that at all? It doesn't make any sense. So the fact that this is a conversation to begin with tells me, it only proves the point that I'm trying to make, that your identity, even in your own mind, is up for, it's something that you need to be assured of. Now, what I would like to ask you, again, because you're standing here, and so you've brought your identity on the table for discussion. So how do you know that you're a woman?
It was first when I heard transgender persons describe their experience in their own words, and this was only about 2 years ago. Hearing somebody describe things, it was a woman from like England, describing her experience, her childhood, her teenage years. And it blew my mind to be listening to her, because it was just some podcast that I was listening to while I was like doing laundry. But it blew my mind to hear somebody so eloquently and precisely describe things that I had experiences
What
that
was
I
the
had
description?
experienced.
What did they say?
Okay, so I am honestly hesitant. I know that you touched earlier about the difficulty that transgender women might have in describing their identity, but I want to state, I honestly don't feel that you would engage in this conversation in good faith.
Then why are
And
you here?
so-
Why did you stand up to talk to me if you don't want to have a conversation? You're saying that you discovered that you're a woman. I'm asking you how you did. That's a very fair question.
Okay.
How do you know that you're a woman?
That's fine. All right. So first of all, listening to transgender people, and it was like, okay, this is a one-off, one person describing these things. Things like looking at yourself in the mirror and not recognizing yourself. Hearing compliments like, you are such an example, like a positive masculine role model. And just hearing that and being like, it feels like they're talking about somebody else. It means feeling alone, even when you're surrounded by guys, even when you have a lot of friends. And I was active in like Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout. I had great masculine role models my whole life. And yet I never felt like I belonged. I felt welcome and
But
included.
why does that make you a woman?
Because
As opposed to just a man who doesn't get along with some other men, or a man who's depressed, or a man who doesn't feel at home totally in his body, which, by the way, is a pretty universal human experience. Everybody goes through it at one time or another. So in what way does that make you a woman, though? And it's interesting. You're telling me that you listen to the experiences of other transgender people.
Well, yeah.
But what about women?
So
Because trans women are women, you would say, right?
I would say that. Yes.
Exactly the same?
Yes.
Okay, well then why do
Well-
you need to hear the testimony of quote unquote trans women? Like how you pick any actual woman in this room? In what way do you know that you belong in the same category as them?
I know because they tell me. So here was the
You need them to tell you what you are?
women.
And I don't know if you caught that right there, but Matt Walsh just tricked this person into admitting that they're different than an actual woman, right? You'd think if this person was an actual woman, they wouldn't acknowledge that there's a difference between themselves and an actual woman, with which Matt Walsh just referred.
Yes. I trust the opinions of the women around
And
me.
if most
it's
women-
incredible. You might try it sometime.
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman, would you say I'm not a woman anymore?
If who?
If most women voted and said they don't see you as a woman anymore, would you then relent and say I'm not a woman?
I would say most people on the planet have no idea who I am. I'm going to trust the opinions of the people who've spent their lives with me.
But you are relying on other people to tell you who you are, is what we're establishing.
For context, I know you like to think, I know you like to say, everybody's rah-rahing and supporting transgender people, and yet they're still killing themselves, etc. But I'm standing here in a room full of people applauding you and asking questions like, how can I put out legislation here in New Mexico, my home state I grew up in, to try to reverse transgenderism? I'm not safe. And it
How are you
wasn't,
not safe? You just said you're standing in a room with people who disagree with you and you're perfectly fine. So how are you not safe?
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay, look, we're going round and round. You don't want to answer any of the questions. Maybe we'll end with this because we're talking about womanhood. So people can probably shout out the question I'm going to ask you right now.
Okay.
But you know that you're a woman.
Yes.
What is that?
So gender is a social thing. It only
I don't want
makes
to hear
sense
that. What
in
is a
social-
woman? What
No.
is a woman?
What is a woman?
The word woman, define in the dictionary. Go.
A woman is somebody who is included and respected and seen and participates in society, recognized by other women. If you speak with women,
Circular definition.
that's mine, whatever.
Okay.
as all of the women in the room groan in disdain and disagreement. And you know, frankly, I feel sorry for this person. I feel bad for them because the people in their life don't care enough about them to actually tell them the truth of what's going on. They'll just say, look, you're a pretty woman, now leave me alone. Especially the bosses are like, don't sue me. You're definitely a pretty woman. And if calling you pretty is too far, you're just a woman, right? Don't call HR on me. And I'd like to know what y'all think about the part where Matt Walsh asked if they took a poll amongst women and they determined that this person is not a woman, would the person then accept those results? Because I thought that was an excellent question, especially since this person used other people as the source of their own confirmation of the fact that they can call themselves a woman. Which is a huge issue that goes on in today's Western civilization. If you don't confirm or reaffirm what a person says they are, or care about somebody's feelings and walk on eggshells, and you just simply speak your truth, right? I'm going to use one of their phrases. You speak your truth. You speak the truth, because that's what there really only is, to this person and say, look, I know you believe that you are a beautiful woman, but you're not. And finally, I'll just say, if you're an adult and you want to make these types of decisions for yourself, you know, fine, whatever, right? But don't involve me and don't expect me to change who I am and what I believe to make you happy because I care about your feelings or something like that. And certainly leave the children out of these types of decisions, right? This is for adults only, and I really think that that's even stupid. But whatever, right? It's a free country, and if you're an adult, then fine. And so if you agree with that, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.